am back with another review. I think it is pretty obvious what I am reviewing today. I have my Birds of Prey cup that I got at the movies with this pretty nifty Harley Quinn bobblehead on top, which turns out you can actually take off. It comes off. That's actually pretty cool. So it's like getting a drink with a toy. I gotta say, I was disappointed that they only give you Harley Quinn bobbleheads. Like, I kind of was hoping it would be like when I went to go see Avengers Endgame, and you had 5 cups to choose from, and each cup has a different character on the top. Like, that would have been nice. Like, have one of each of the girls, but I mean, it's still cute. I'll take it. So normally I don't get all dressed up in character for a review, but I did just for my birthday get my hair cut and bleached. And I'm like, hang on a minute, I just went bleached. How can I miss the opportunity to do a Harley Quinn look? So here we are. Despite getting all tizzed up for today's review, it's not gonna be a positive one. There are gonna be positive things in it, but overall, this is not a positive review. I am well aware I am in the minority on this one, but I embrace it. I kind of feel like the queen of unpopular opinions, so I mean, may as well continue with my title, so let's get into my review of Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey, also known as Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, is a 2020 American superhero film based on the DC Comics team Birds of Prey. It is the 8th film in the DC Extended Universe and a follow-up to 2016's Suicide Squad. Directed by Kathy Yan and written by Christina Hodson, it follows Harley Quinn as she joins forces with Black Canary, Helena Bertinelli, and Renee Montoya to save Cassandra Cain from Gotham City crime lord Black Mask. This is the first DC film in a while that I was not only disappointed by, but disliked, the last being Batman vs Superman. I loved Suicide Squad. True story. I loved Wonder Woman, I loved Aquaman, and I even loved Justice League. Shazam was just okay. But watching this film, I was really irritated. My irritation began with the marketing. The trailers and posters that were dropping were all about Harley Quinn and had little or nothing to do with the Birds of Prey. Then they slapped that subtitle on the film to excuse it, and I feared what this would mean for the film. I was afraid I was walking into a film that was a title that implies teamwork but is really just a solo Harley film, which if it was, why not just call it that? But then I started seeing positive tweets and I thought, okay, maybe it's one of those cases where the marketing stuffed up and the film is about a group working together. Nope, marketing was 100% accurate on this film. This is 100% a Harley Quinn solo film, and it was pissing me off. I think Harley is a fantastic character. She has so many layers to her, and I love how Margot plays her as if she is a cartoon character come to life. It's crazy and fun. But I'd rather they just do a solo film and call it a Harley solo film than what they did, because for me, it's offensive to the other characters, even though I'm aware they're fictional and have no feelings. This film is like the Pussycat Dolls, and Harley is Nicole Scherzinger, and every other character in this movie are the other members whose names no one really bothers to remember because don't really do anything aside from the occasional backup vocals and some impressive choreography. You know, the more I put this together in my head, Birds of Prey really is just like the Pussycat Dolls. Spooky. Harley isn't just the lead, she's the narrator, and saying this, I'm reminded of something a father said as he left the movie with his teenage daughter. He said, American films are so pedantic, they waste all their time explaining the story to the audience as if we're too dumb to figure it out. I nearly died of laughter because he's not wrong. Guaranteed, I don't think it's fair to say all American films are like that, or even just American films exclusively, but it is very common that films today are spoon-feeding every minute detail of the story to the audience instead of just doing it, and it does get tiresome. Narrations can be fun, but I hated it in this film, not because of how it was done, but because of why they made it necessary. All the characters, while connected, don't come together very well, and their individual stories are not depicted all that clearly. The only way we as an audience get to understand these characters and their relevance to the story is because of Harley's narration. If you took that out, we just have a bunch of characters together and no idea what the hell is going on. I felt more thought could have been put into introducing us to these characters aside from quick audio storytelling. The character who was wrong the most for me was Huntress. Everything about her character felt like an afterthought. The way she tied into the story and the characters was summed up so quickly towards the end, if you blinked you'd miss it. While she is connected to everyone, there was no care put into her character at all. She's going around seeking revenge on those who wronged her, doing a very thorough job, but she goes up to these people, kills them slowly while saying, "Do you know who I am?" but never actually tells them who she is. Her revenge story is super anticlimactic. What is the point on killing all these people slowly if they have no idea who you are or why you're killing them? No one was able to put it together, and frankly, watching this film, it was clear no one actually cared to. I think Huntress has a very interesting backstory, and she really is like the female Bruce Wayne, only her trauma is on a larger scale. But in terms of this film, she was done a disservice. Cassandra Cain was by far the most annoying character of the whole entire film, and my brother and I are in agreement on this. Actually, he and I are in agreement on pretty much every aspect of this film, which hardly ever happens. It was kind of scary. If it weren't for this one stupid thing she does, there would be absolutely no purpose for her character. She contributes nothing. I mean, yeah, they all work together to protect her, but that was never their initial goal. They were all just working together to save their own asses. Not that I mind that, it's honest. But she just felt so useless with the occasional piece of dialogue that made you want to punch her. This story could have had the same series of events for the most part, and her never need to be in it once. Renee Montoya again felt like a missed opportunity. She had a lot of great qualities and a backstory I really liked, and one that is super relatable. A woman who works her ass off, cares about her job, and some dick comes along and takes credit for her work and gets all the success while she's treated like crap. So many people can relate to this, men and women, and yet I never felt like she got her FU moment. She proves she's smart and tough, we knew that from the moment we saw her. But she gets screwed over numerous times in this film, and not once does she get justice for herself. She never outs the person who screwed her over or tells them off in front of everyone. Better yet, I would have loved to see her just lay one solid punch to their face as she's walking out. The fact she exits so calmly after some ass takes credit for her work again was extremely frustrating. I wanted to see her stand her ground, take back what was taken from her, and knock this person down a few pegs, and I didn't see that. I saw her go from one form of crime fighting to another, and sure, the second involves more ass kicking, but I never felt like her character had any closure, and that bugged me. Black Canary was honestly my favorite character. She's fun, she's conflicted, she's a person whose lifestyle is very much in the gray area. She kicks ass, and I loved everything about her, even down to her fighting style. Her style is very street, bare knuckle boxing type of thing. It's not flashy or fancy, it's hold up, I'm gonna put my hair back and whoop your ass, and I love it. But with her, they again half-assed her backstory and gave a flippant way of introducing her ability, and I spent the entire film waiting for her to use it. My brother and I were looking at each other and our imaginary watches like, seriously? Hurry up already. Then when it finally happens, it was just like, that's it? I waited all this time and that's all I get? I am excited at the prospect of seeing her in future films because she was such a fun character and I loved how she was performed, but I'm hoping next time around I get more from the character and her ability. Next on the chopping block is Victor Sass. I'm saving the big bad for last. I couldn't take this guy seriously as an evil henchman. He came off surprisingly unthreatening despite us seeing him do some not nice things. Most of the time, he's just Sionis' hype man, rubbing his shoulders, boosting his ego, and looking at him like you expect giant cartoon love hearts to start popping out of his eyeballs. To realize he has a bigger connection to certain other characters and once again see that be brushed over so quickly made it disappointing because it was another missed opportunity for me. That brings us to Roman Sionis, aka Black Mask. As a villain, I hated him. I love Ewan McGregor, he is a tremendous talent, but how this villain was written sucked. He does nothing, he has several meltdowns and proves himself to be a very insecure individual, but mostly all he does is dish out orders and half the time that's off screen, so it's really just implied. He had one disturbing moment that really showed him as an unhinged bad guy, and I love that scene. But outside of that, I was in a total state of what the fuck, and it brings me to an issue I have. Now this film further makes me feel that the DCEU is not good at writing villains. They are often weak and laughable, and considering the DC comics have provided us with many amazing villains, there is plenty to work with, yet what they keep giving us is not good. On top of that, there is a common trend among female-centered films and how they write their male antagonists. They did this in 2019's Charlie's Angels and many other movies, which is to write strong women going against men who are depicted as weak morons, and it pisses me off. It's like saying all these female characters can only be tough if the guys they're going against have the brain size of a walnut, because no way could they take on a male if he was actually intelligent or terrifyingly psychotic. Writing male villains or adversaries like this does a disservice to the female characters, and I'm sick of it. If you want these women to really be empowering and tougher than males, then give them an adversary who can match them in intelligence and strength. Only then will their victory be truly impressive. The funny thing about Roman is that when I first saw his character, the velvet jacket, the black singlet underneath, this party guy persona, I was instantly reminded of Sam Rockwell's character in Charlie's Angels, the first film, after he dropped the innocent act. The look, the attitude, it was all the same. And then I find out Sam Rockwell was originally wanted for the part of Black Mask, and even though he couldn't do it, he became the archetype for the character, and I totally see it. So the fact seeing Ewan McGregor giving this performance that made me think of Sam Rockwell and learned that was kind of the intention, honestly was pretty damn awesome. As for the Black Mask, that mask cracked me up. With those velvet gloves, his velvet jacket, and that mask on, he looked like the Masked Magician. Did you ever watch that? Because I love that series, and he looked just like him. It was hilarious, though I don't think it was meant to be. Now, I've said plenty about the characters and the story and marketing, all of which I thought were not done well, but I do have positives. For starters, the cinematography in this film is off the wall insanely delightful. Every aspect of this film makes you feel like you're either on LSD or this amazing amusement park. The colors are vibrant and work into the scene so spectacularly, and I love how each character has their own color palette that follows them throughout the film. Obviously, Harley's is the most prominent, but that doesn't change the fact it was stunning to look at. Whether it's explosions, fog, or confetti, this film was an explosion of color, and it made the film very entertaining to look at. The soundtrack was awesome. Every song was perfectly placed, fit not just to the scene, but the emotional story of the characters and the film itself. The songs selected for this film could not have been better. It was a marriage made in heaven, only made better by the score provided by Daniel Pemberton. His composition enhanced the atmosphere and made so many moments in this film feel more fun than I found them to be in terms of script work. So I was very grateful for his musical talents being put to use in this film. Another aspect of the film I loved was the fight choreography. They went to town on this film and it looked like it was fun. Now, I strongly disliked the entire first half of the film, with me feeling a lot warmer towards the film during the second half, mostly because we started seeing more from our female characters. But whether it was the first half or the second half, the fight scenes were impeccable. Each character has a unique style, and I love that it's reflected not only in their costumes but in the cinematography and even their fighting choreography. Every move was suited to them as a character, and it was awesome. Each time I started thinking to myself, I am not having fun, someone, often Harley, would pop up and have to kick some ass, and for those brief moments I was very happy and very entertained. I love seeing women kick ass, and I love that this film gave us some fresh moves to keep it interesting. I'm glad I didn't walk away from this not having any positives about it. There were positives here and there, with the biggest being the ones I just mentioned, but outside of those, I didn't have fun. Outside of Black Canary, I wasn't loving the characters or the story, and I didn't get humor from it. I laughed once, and it was at the Frida Kahlo joke. My brother and I were both amused by that. Besides that, I didn't laugh. The performances are good, I can't fault them, certainly can't fault Margot. She nails Harley so well, and I do enjoy that they gave us more backstory on her and did allow us to see more of her psychology expertise put to use. They were all performing their characters exactly how they were written, but I didn't like how they were written. I didn't like how the story came together, which wasn't very cohesive at all, and I really wish they had just called this a Harley solo film. I wasn't expecting this film to stay true to the Birds of Prey origins, and it obviously hasn't, but I was hoping for far more more than a film about cool women playing second fiddle to a woman who wasn't exactly emancipated and more thrown out on her ass and left with no choice but to fend for herself or die. So overall, I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it, and I'm not in a hurry to rewatch it. So yeah, those are my feelings on Birds of Prey. I mean, I wasn't excited for this film, but you always hope that it's going to catch you by surprise. It's actually always really good if you go in with low expectations and you come out going, oh my god, that was way better than I thought. And I guess I kind of hoped this would be one of those situations, but it wasn't, and I wasn't happy. No. I know a lot of people are loving this. I'm sorry, I just wasn't one of them. I'd love to say that I was, but no. Like I said, some things I liked. Black Canary really was awesome. Give her a solo film. I'd go and watch that, no doubt. Also, what was really weird is, considering this is a superhero movie, I actually expected a lot of people to be going out to see this, but when we got into the theater, there was like, including me and my brother, there was like 6 people total, and it's a 500-seat cinema. It was like, what? Where is everybody? And then I'm hearing from other people, not just in my country, but also in America, that they've, you know, gone to a showing of Birds of Prey, and there's hardly anybody in the audience. So it's weird to see this film is getting a lot of positive reviews, obviously not from me, but from other people, and yet hardly anybody is going out to see it. I think a lot of people aren't going to see it because they're basing it on their feelings on Suicide Squad. Now, I know I loved it, but I know it's pretty popular that people did not enjoy it, and I feel like people are judging this film on that. They are not the same film at all. So obviously, I've had 2 vastly different feelings. So I think, don't go judging this film on another film that you saw. Really go and see Birds of Prey and decide for yourself what you think. Don't base it on anyone else's opinion, and certainly don't base it on another film. That's just ridiculous. Those are my thoughts. That's all I have time for today, because I've been working out the last 2 days and my entire body is killing me and I want to die. So, feel free to comment down below, tell me what you thought about Birds of Prey. I would like to hear your thoughts on this film. And thank you, as always, to my terrific patrons. If you are a patron, then you know I have a lot of changes made to my Patreon, that I've got a lot of exclusive content coming, including a kind of mini documentary type thing that's coming, and 2 series that will now be a Patreon exclusive. If you're not a Patreon and you want to check out the page, link will be in the description box, so go have a look and see if you like it. If not, that's fine, just exit the screen, that's fine. So once again, thank you to my patrons, and I will catch you all in the next video. Until then, bye!